You're admin. You have an admin. Oh my God, he got
What is the person who?
that
What's the person who moderator? No, the moderator.
moderator. Oh, I don't have a moderator. I need a moderator. Hi, Marilyn. Good
Listen,
morning. Welcome.
everybody needs a sister like Marilyn.
It is the Big Up YuSelf Show. We are on our 12th episode. Big Up YuSelf. Yay. Listen, guys, we need to do a better job of celebrating ourselves. We don't celebrate ourselves enough, and that's not fair to us, right? We need to be taking credit for the things that we are good at, credit for the things that we deserve to take credit for. We don't have to be shy about bragging on our accomplishments because those accomplishments took a lot out of us, right? So it's okay. It is okay to celebrate yourself. Life is tough and the journey is hard. Every step you make, right? Every little thing you overcome, you should be celebrating yourself. So, this is a place where you can do that unabashedly. You can brag on yourself here. All right, welcome. If you're new, please subscribe. Leave a comment for us, like the video. When you subscribe, touch that notification bell so that you're notified when we go live or when we upload a video. And your likes and your comments, they do matter. They do help us out a lot. So show us some love over here on the Big Up YuSelf Show. Wow. So this morning, I have a guest. Oh, look at her pretty face. I have Sandra from Lack to Legacy here. Yay, welcome, Sandra. It is so good to see you. I love your two little pom-poms like that. I love them. They're so cute.
You
Yeah,
say that every time.
I love them. They are so cute. Yeah, so
Easy
welcome.
breezy capeasy.
Say that.
I said easy breezy capeasy.
I like that. Yeah, that's what I'm doing this morning with my hair. Easy breezy.
I know. Yeah.
All
Winsome,
right.
thank you for having me. We've talked. Listen, Winsome and I have talked. So we really talked this whole show out last week. We laughed and talked. But
We
thank you
did.
for having me.
You're welcome. I'm so glad you're here. All right. So, usually on the show, well, I have three standard questions that I ask each guest on the show. And the first question I'm going to ask you is about your name, right? Because I'm always curious about how people wear their names and how they came about their names, what it means, and all that kind of stuff. So, why don't you go ahead and tell us about your name?
I will. My name is Sandra, and it's a derivative of Alexander or Alexandria, and it means helper of man. And I am aptly named. I was a teacher for almost 30 years. And what more? What are you doing? You're helping all day, every day. So the name, yep, aptly named. And my mother named me after one of her classmates. And thank goodness she took the reins because my father wanted to name me Toy. Really. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know. I don't. I'm sure toy has a meaning. I'm sure it does. But I'm glad my mother won that battle, and so Sandra, yeah, means helper of man.
Now, see, that's interesting that Sandra is a derivative of Alexander. My name is Alexander, and Alexander means the defender of the people. So,
Yeah,
you see that? You see
yeah.
how it all works together? That's
Mm-hmm.
amazing. That
Yep,
is
yep.
pretty amazing. Thank you for sharing that story. That's pretty interesting. All right. And then the other thing we talk about here on this show, this is like the most important part of the show, actually, because actually I want to reach and strengthen and help heal survivors of trauma. And
Mm-hmm.
so, of all kinds of trauma, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of all kinds of adversity. And
Mm-hmm.
so, Another important question that I ask each guest is, please share with us a trauma or a difficulty that you have overcome, right? And how you were able to overcome that.
And when some I struggled with that question. I personally have been diagnosed with CPTSD, which is complex post-traumatic stress disorder. So
Right,
you got PTSD, but the
right.
C part comes in when there's one trauma, and before you heal from that trauma, there's another trauma, and before you heal from that trauma. So that's the complex part. So I was like, well, heck, let me pick a trauma. What I mean, the fact that I've had so much therapy, I can talk to you about some of them, and some of them are still a little stickier. So I'm going to go ahead, because I watched your show on authenticity, and between authenticity and being nice, in an effort to be authentic. And I've shared this other places. One of the traumas I think that was most pivotal was the difficulty in the relationship with me and my mother. I am currently zero
Yes.
contact. Yeah, that relationship, it colors everything. It really does.
Everything. I'm
It
so
colors
glad you're bringing
everything.
this up. I'm so
Hmm.
glad you are bringing this up because so many of us, especially us daughters, have issues with our mom relationships. It
Yes.
boggles my mind.
Hmm. And so many times I think you feel like it's just you. Number one, there's shame and all of that trauma. I found that there's a reoccurring kind of theme and a thread is that there's always shame involved, that either we didn't do more to protect ourselves or that it happened to us. Any kind of abuse pretty often will be coupled with some shame. And so for years, you internalize as a kid abuse, you internalize any kind of abuse or even mishandling. You don't know. And I never had the vocabulary, but I had enough sense to know that I was going to need some therapy. And so I have been in therapy for a very long time. But when I
Yeah.
tell you, it is still difficult today
Yeah.
after years of therapy, even after having a conversation with my mother, adult mano y mano, it is still difficult to talk about that trauma because it really does. Your mother and father are your first lovers, your first teachers. They're your first examples of everything. And so when that relationship is askew, or when that relationship doesn't go smoothly and there's dysfunction or whatever's happening, you you just don't leave that unscathed. And so I have had to, of course, do therapy and really just peel back all the layers. And we grew up in a time when people didn't talk about mental health. There
No,
Nobody in my house was going to talk about the boogeyman in the
no.
closet. They weren't going to talk about the cousin that was going to jail. They weren't going to talk about any of it. And
Hmm.
so I had to just carve that out for myself. I had to say, I get it. I understand this is the family I was born into. I understand. You all know the trauma's there. I know it's there, but nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody. So just for my own sake and my own sanity, I had to cut it. I had to sever that because I do believe you really cannot heal in the same place that hurt you. If
That hurt
nothing
you.
changes, the
Nothing
same place that
changes.
made you sick is going to be the same thing. And so for me, I had to choose Sandra. I had to, and in with black people, you can't, your mother, oh Lord,
I
you'd rather be a
know.
bus
No,
driver.
I know. And see, the thing is, in my case, I have never felt like I've had a connection with my mother. So that
Mhm,
mother-daughter loving connection, I don't know what that's like. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? And even now,
mhm,
the relationship between her, we're both trying. I give her credit for trying. And of course, I'm
mhm,
going to give myself credit for trying, but we are just not there. The relationship is strained. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? So,
mhm.
but I want to ask you, what is there a particular incident that happened with you and your mother that's causing the chasm?
Yeah, I think I could point to multiple things, but the earliest that I can remember was a betrayal. When I came to my mother and told her that somebody was hurting me and this was happening, she did not respond the way I'm a mom. I'm a daughter. have a daughter. I know how I would respond if my daughter came and told me somebody was molesting her, hurting her. It would go up. It would go
Yeah.
up. I'm telling you right here, right now. Ooh, the police would be, and so I don't know. Even as a kid, that was my thinking that we should have an appropriate response to what I'm telling you. And when I didn't get that appropriate response, I knew, you know, and when some, because I mean, and I'm a Christian, I'm open about that.
Right.
Even as a kid, I knew enough. The Holy Spirit was with me the whole time. He was saying, nope, 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 this ain't right. This is, be
Yeah.
careful. And so having something like that, a tear, a rip, and such an integral part of your development at such a critical time in your development, to have that tear and not feel like you're safe or not feel like you're with somebody who has your best interest at heart.
Yeah.
That's a lot to unpack. It's a
Yeah.
lot to unpack. And so
Yes.
I had to commit to doing that work. And it really has been my life's work in making
Mhm.
sure that I don't perpetuate, that I'm totally healed. Because when we present a healed self to the world, Winsome, everything changes. Everything changes. Opportunities change. Obstacles don't look the way they looked when you were still in the trauma and caught up in
Yeah.
it and replaying it. And so the healing, girl,
Good
was for me.
morning,
I
V.
encourage anybody, go get healed. Go get your healing,
Go
because
get
it's
your healing. Go
go
get
get your
your
healing.
healing. We have
Don't
some
ask
healing
for
going on.
permission. And look, and Winsome, seriously, I come from the most traditional Black family you could ever imagine. We didn't talk about money. We didn't talk about sex. We didn't talk about none of that stuff. You could go to church, but there were so many important conversations that need to be had that we didn't. Pick you. Go have the conversation. Have
Thank
it hard.
you.
Have it
Thank
scared.
you.
Pick you.
Thank
Pick
you.
you.
You know,
Don't wait.
recently, as you were talking about how you went to your mother and you didn't get validation, let me say morning to these ladies. Morning,
Yeah.
Yvette. Good morning, V. And good morning, Deborah. Thank you all for joining. Yeah. So, yeah. So, it was like maybe like 3 months ago, a memory came back to me, right? Of an uncle that touched me inappropriately. And I had told my mother some other things that happened and stuff, but this came back to me a few months ago. And I said, I'm going to tell her about this. And, my reason for wanting to tell her was to give her an opportunity to offer me some comfort, you know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
maybe like try to bring us a little closer,
Yeah.
but the response I got was almost like she was mad at me for telling her, and she thought I was blaming her, and then she kind of blamed me. And then it got me so upset. I honestly cried. And I'm talking about like
Mm-hmm.
2 months ago. I honestly cried. And I said to myself, I'll never share anything else with you
Mm-hmm.
that's sensitive again.
Mm-hmm. And
Because
when you share that,
it was more painful to talk to her about it than to, yeah.
mhm. When you
Mm.
share that, you know what I hear on the other side of just years of processing that kind of betrayal, or that kind of tear in the relationship, is that it has taught me compassion. It has taught me grace, because I think when you're really hurt and you're in it and it's the beginning and nobody's telling the truth about it or whatever, that's the painful part. But once you make it through once you pull back, the scab, turn on the light, tell the whole story to the whole world, tell it to your therapist. Once you talk and talk and talk and talk it out, now I have a totally different perspective about my mother.
Mhm,
I,
mhm,
I'm
mhm.
so much more compassionate, because I can't
Yes,
even imagine how young she was, how
yes,
unprepared she was. was, how scared she was, all that cloaking. Now, instead of seeing somebody who betrayed me, I really see somebody who was struggling in their own right.
Who didn't know what to do, did not
Didn't
know
have
how
a
to handle
clue.
it,
Didn't have a
didn't know how
clue.
to handle it.
Was
Yeah.
probably scared to death when
Yeah.
I even confronted and confessed it. Was probably scared to death. And so I don't make any excuses because it was a horrible way to be as a kid, wise enough and old enough to know and aware enough to know what's going on, to know that you're not really acting in a way that is my protector, and that is your role. To have all these awarenesses so early, it was just misfortune. It was unfortunate, but that's where the victory comes. That's what we're here for, because you take all of that stuff and what you think would destroy you, break you, mess your head up, have you out in the world acting a fool, win some. I had a praying grandmother. I had a grandmother who said, nope, not today. Not this one.
I love it.
It only takes one person. It
one
only took
person.
One
person.
The love of one person. It was enough to sustain me so that when anything came up against me that made me feel less than or tapped into that insecurity, I knew one thing: my grandmother loved me. I don't care what y'all say. I don't care what you think about me. And it was all I needed, that little grain of, she thinks I'm worthy. She thinks I'm valuable. I must be. I love her. She loves me.
I must be.
I must be.
Sandra, that's why, listen, that's why I'm so passionate about us celebrating ourselves, right?
Yes.
Because look at all the things that we have come through. Look at all that stuff. And look at us now. We are healing. We are vibrant. We are happy. Free. We're free. After all of that, we deserve to celebrate. Listen, I didn't bring a drink. I brought some tea.
I said I was going to let you all pick what I drink. I've got several beers, my beers. I don't know what any of them are. So I'll let you all decide what I'm drinking tonight.
That's okay.
I don't know.
I'll show them later. That's okay. All right. Well, my goodness, thank you so much. She said, somebody said, "Why love living?" said, "So glad I found this divine order." Absolutely. Why love living? Absolutely. It's, these conversations are hard to have, but they are important to have. And some people hesitate to share their stories. And the thing about that is that the experience you went through, yes, is you. It was you. It happened to you. But the story belongs to others.
Yes.
Your story is always helping somebody somewhere. Don't be afraid to share your story, right?
Yeah.
Because
and there's always somebody out there.
Yeah. Not only does it help to heal you more each time you share it, but it's definitely touching and healing somebody out there. So yeah, that's why we do what we do. All right. So, okay. So we have shared our little stories and we're still smiling. No tears because we've done healing.
Done the work. Girl, we did the work. The tear, we did all that. We did the work. Now it's joy time. This is joy time.
Joy time. And speaking of joy, yes, we need this, Marilyn B. We need this. Speaking of joy, baby, you have been bopping around the world, globe trotting, carrying on all over the place. Tell us about it. Where are you right now?
Now I'm in Bangkok, Thailand. I just left Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai last week. And Bangkok, you know what? I don't know. Something's wrong with me because I fall in love with every country I go to. This is wonderful. Oh my goodness, this is wonderful. Your castles are wonderful. So it's just been a blast. It has really been, if you just believe in anything, that the universe is good and that people are good and that all of it works in your favor. If you don't believe that, I'm the poster child. I promise you. I have been through some things, but I think your mindset, it's all in your mindset. And so I have chosen to be joyful. I have chosen to be healthy, happy, whole, prosperous, abundant, loving, giving. That's a choice. And
All
so
of
it
that.
doesn't really, all of it. And you know what, Winsome? It doesn't matter where I am. Girl, that's why I can fall in love with every city. Because I believe
Because
only way
wherever you go, there you are. Yes.
show me what I got. Show me what y'all got. And we're gonna make something out of this. We're gonna make some good potato salad. We're gonna do something. We're gonna do something here. And so
Oh my God.
Bangkok is busy. It reminds me a lot of Chicago, and it's just vast. It's like New York. But I did a tour today. It's so interesting to see how the old and the new just live right side by side. So I did a river tour of the markets along the river in Bangkok. And then I took a train. We didn't get actually board the train, but there's a train that goes straight through the market. And to see how they live, how
A train that goes through the market?
it goes straight through the market. And every day, it comes through 5, 6, 7 times. I'm not sure how many. They fold up the market every time.
Oh, yes.
Yes, have you seen it?
Yes, I've
And
seen
the
a
train
video of
passes
that.
this close.
Yes, yes,
You're
yes.
pressed up against the wall like this. This is all of the tourists pressed up against the wall. It was a blast. It was a blast.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. So that's Bangkok. And then first you were in Bali.
Yes, I started in Bali and I stayed there for 2 months.
2 months in Bali? 2 months in Bali. Girl,
I said,
I'm
won't he
gonna
do it?
I'm going
2
to
months.
ask you. I am going to ask you the question.
Ask it. Ask away.
How do you afford to live like this?
When you say live like this, I think it's such a misnomer. It is actually cheaper. I almost hate to say it. It is more reasonable for me to live away from the US. I promise it is. With a house, a car note, insurance, just all the stuff you have to pay.
So wait a minute. Let me ask you this. You no longer live in the US?
No, I sold my house. Winsome, I'm sorry. I thought you knew all of the details. I sold my house.
No, we want the guests to know. We want the guests to know what's going on.
Okay, so back up. The pandemonium came. I was teaching. I had been teaching for just shy of 30 years. And so I was coming up on my time anyway. It was time to start thinking retirement, talking retirement. And when about 6 years ago, in a professional development, an admin asked me like off the bat, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And in my mind, I said, definitely not here. I was like, no, I won't be here. And so I wrote on the Post-it note that I don't intend to ever teach one day over the age of 55. I wrote it on this Post-it note.
You did?
I promised you I did. I had no clue then, Didn't even know how that was going to be. How was that going to happen? Nobody retires from teaching at 55 and you live to eat. I mean, it doesn't happen. But I wrote it down anyway. And I wrote down a couple other things that I wanted to travel. I wanted to have my grandkids and 3 or 4 things. And when put the Post-it note somewhere, hadn't seen it for years, hadn't seen this Post-it. And as I was cleaning my office, prepping to sell the house, the Post-it note pops up out of nowhere. Wow. I promise you. I said, you know what? We're going to do everything on this list. And so I turned in my resignation. I was like, you know what? I'm good. I'm not coming back. You all going to need a new teacher. And I promise you, it was so surreal. Nobody believed it. My principal was like, oh, no, you're not going anywhere. And I'm like, the nerve of you. I am. And in fact, I am. As a matter of fact, I'm leaving sooner than you thought. Yeah. And I left. It was enough. So
you left and then you sold your home And then you
So the
said,
house
I'm just going to move around the world.
I went to Mexico first, and I stayed in
Uh-huh.
Mexico for a year and a half, almost a year and a half.
Wow.
Saw some beautiful places. Mexico is a beautiful country.
Yes, Mexico is gorgeous.
Mexico has it all. There are mountains, deserts, beaches, cities. I'm talking world class. Mexico City is a world class city. And so I got a chance to experience, really experience Mexico. Brushed
Yeah.
up on my Spanish, ate way too many tortillas, drank way too much tequila, had a
Yeah.
great time. And I also applied for residency. So I became a temporary resident of Mexico.
Okay.
So when I go home, there is no home really. So Mexico is really kind of like my home.
Kind of
That's
like your home.
kind of
So,
like
okay. Do you have a place in Mexico?
no.
No.
I promise you,
Okay.
no. I don't ever want to own. Please, no, never
Home.
again.
Okay.
Never. I stayed in that
Okay.
house almost 30 years. I'm good. I did that.
Okay.
I don't have to do that
Okay.
again.
All right. So you left Mexico. You're like, I've been in Mexico about a year and a half. I think I want to go see somewhere else. And then where did you go?
That's it. Well, went back home briefly for about a month or so, experienced the worst reverse culture shock. It is difficult. Once you leave and come back, the pace, the politics, it's just a lot. It's a lot to come back
Yeah.
into. And so that month back, I tied up some loose ends, got some business things taken care of. It was really clear to me that that was it. This was probably going to be my last visit for a while. And then I knew I wanted to go to Southeast Asia. And there were just some things I wanted to see. So I set the plan from there to just explore Southeast Asia. From here, when I finish up here, I will go to Europe, then Africa, and then back to South America. So that's my goal, is to cover that ground, and then eventually get back to Mexico.
Okay. 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 So, all right. So, yeah, got you. You answered that question of where you plan to go next. Now, so you've been able to do this on the proceeds from your house
Yes,
and
I have a
your
pension.
retirement income.
Yes. And then
Oh,
I had a few other things. When I've always been as poor as I was, and I have to give you some backstory on this too. My stories, my channel's from Lag to Legacy, and
yes.
we talk all things money, mindset, and investments, all kinds of investing, and just financial literacy. Period. I'm
Mhm.
personally a late bloomer. I did just enough when I would love to be like, yep, I got it all together. I did this right. That's not my story. That's not my story. I made all the mistakes because, again, nobody in my family talked about money. So I had no clue. I was turned out to the world, had no clue. I had to figure it out. When I tell you I made all the mistakes, I made all the financial mistakes.
Yes.
But because the way my brain is wired, I was like, okay, got it. Note to self. I'm making notes the whole time. Don't do this. This is what you need to do. And I'm redirecting the whole time. So I feel kind of self-taught in that way, in that I learned that I needed to invest. I had good people around me who told me and gave me good, sound financial advice. I didn't take it all, but I took enough of it. And I was able to leave that job at 55, a toxic job, no less. I was able to leave at 55. I sold the house. That was a nice little infusion of cash. I had already secured the pension. And then I had some small things on the side where I had been putting money aside in annuities and pre-tax plans with my employer. So once I sat back and really looked at it, I was like, wow, wait a minute. I can really leave this job. I really it was when I think some people feel like you need 5 million to me. I don't know. I don't have a number like that.
Right.
But I am able to live comfortably. I do what I want to do. I go where I want to go. And that freedom is priceless. That's the
Oh
real
my
gift,
goodness. Oh
the
my
freedom.
goodness. Oh, I live for that kind of freedom. Come, freedom, come.
I
My
promise.
door is open.
Trust the
My
process.
door is
Trust the
open
process.
for freedom. Yes,
You,
I am so
you
ready.
already started it. You just by
Yes,
speaking it and saying it and putting it out there. I
yes,
think that's how we manifest anything. You think it, you speak it, you write it, you start moving your feet, and the universe meets you.
absolutely. That's exactly the formula. That's it. Yeah, it's a V thing. Yes, it's never too late to get it together. Never too late, V. Let me tell you something. Speaking of late bloomers, yeah, my life began in my 50s, right?
Mhm.
This is the time when I'm doing the things that I should have been doing, that I wish I had been doing in my 20s and 30s and 40s. But it's all good. It's all good. It's working
It's
out.
never too late. Oh,
It's
hold on.
never
You guys, wait a minute. My battery's about to die. Let me grab this charger.
Oh, okay. Yeah, V, it's never too late to get it together. And that's what we're doing right now, is getting things together. And all this information that is available to us can help us do just that. Marilyn B said changing one's mindset is essential. Absolutely. Mindset. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and she said she has to now change these demonic mindsets. And she is so right. These limiting beliefs and these feelings like we can't, and it's hard and it's impossible, those are demonic mindsets, and they need to be changed so that we can have change in our lives. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um
All right. We're good. Save the
I'm
day.
on the seventh summer. Enjoy life. Change your mindset. I'm in the
Yeah.
74th summer. Marilyn B is in the 74th summer.
Isn't that something? And full of life. I'm telling you, Marilyn. Marilyn is
Wow.
the glue.
Marilyn, congratulations. Good for you, sis. Enjoy
She
life.
just
Change your
celebrated a birthday. She just celebrated a birthday too.
Wow. Congrats, Marilyn. Don't allow the should have and would have to plant a seed of shame. Everything is done in due time.
There it is.
That's something I have to like reconcile with. It's in due
Mm-hmm.
time. Let me share this with you all real quick. Years ago, I was like in my I was probably just about 30 years old. And I was like, I remember I lived in Massachusetts, and I'm on Chestnut Street, parked up in my car outside of our pharmacy. And maybe I'm talking to God about, what's going on in my life, where am I going to go, blah, blah, blah. And God said to me, I'm the one that's always helped you. And people wonder how you manage, but I'm the one that's helping you. He said to me, yours will not come to you until you're later in life,
Mm.
but it will not be too late where you're not able to enjoy it. And that word is coming true right now. There are some amazing things happening in my life that I'm like, it makes me speechless sometimes, right?
Yep.
And getting
Yep.
ready to happen. And it's all happening at a time when I can still enjoy it.
Yes. That's the beauty, Winsome. Listen, wait a minute. We have the wisdom now. We still have the energy. We still have the use of our limbs. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. An opportunity too, Winsome.
Yeah.
I would have been ready. I don't even know that I would have been ready for the sisterhood and all the
Right.
things that showed up. I was too caught up in
Right.
the pain. I wouldn't have been able to appreciate it, Winsome.
Yes.
And so I
Yes.
I definitely trust the process. My
Yes.
life has been just one iteration after the other of trust the process, trust the process, trust the
Trust God.
process. Relax,
Never say
relax.
God will guide your footsteps. Absolutely. Yes, He
Yeah.
does. Yes, He does. All right. Well, and speaking of investing and
Yes.
stuff, that's kind of something that I don't do very well. I need to learn a lot more about investing. And during the pandemic, I started learning how to trade. Um, and I in my on my fifth day of learning how to trade, I traded Upstart and I made 1,200 and something dollars that day. I was like, what? I was like, dang, this is really possible. But then several months after that, when I went back to work, I again invested in Upstart, bought Upstart, and it was going up. By this time, I kind of knew how Upstart worked. You know, it goes up, comes down a little bit, but it goes back up. So I bought quite a number of shares, and then it fell, and I'm at work and I don't have time to watch it and stuff, and it fell. And then I'm like, oh, this is a hard drop. But I'm watching it. I wasn't watching it, but I'm like, I think it's gonna come back. I think it's gonna come back. So I let it continue to drop. Girl, I let that thing continue to drop. Girl, I lost so much money. I lost so much.
You need to come join us. You have a stop loss in place.
I did not. I usually do. That is the first thing I usually, and that day, for some reason, I didn't put a stop loss in there. I lost so much money, and I haven't traded.
I think that's what does most people in trading. I would say this. What we do at From Lack to Legacy is really all things financial literacy. So I started out about a year ago with, I took this class in options trading, but all along I'd always been investing. You know, thank God for my employer. That part was good because there was always some kind of investment plan. So you always had to know a little bit of something, just a little bit of research. But I didn't know enough when my prospectus would come and I would cover my eyes like this because I didn't know how to read it. I didn't know what to do with it. And eventually 3 days later, I throw it away. I would throw it away every time. But for 3 days, I would hold on to it like I was going to read it. Didn't have a clue. But I knew I had the money. It was put away. That was all I could do. I didn't know enough to be, to move it around. And gradually over time, I would, do some research. So I was familiar with stocks. I understood how stocks works. The price goes up, you make money. The price goes down, you lose money. Well, about a year and a half ago, I purchased some Target stock. And when I tell you, you want to talk about tanked and hit the streets, you think that Upstart hit the streets. That Target stock, it tanked. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just bleeding out here in the street. Yeah. But my daughter, by happen chance, she had been trading with the trading group. And she said, Mommy, you do know that you can make money when the market goes down. I'm like, say less. Right. Say less. Exactly. It's good when it's good. But what I think I would like to communicate to anybody who's even considering it is that options are risky. It's not gambling. It's risky. But when you know what you're doing, I'm a retired teacher. I'm going to always push education. Yeah. The way around all of that to mitigate that risk, mitigate your losses, is you got to know what you're doing. Yeah. You got to know. You got to understand how to read a chart. You got to understand how to plot support and resistance. You have to understand supply and demand. There's so many things. It is easy when we could probably go on Thinkorswim on this paper trading right now and make a few dollars.
We are going to do that. And see, I
think you need that background knowledge. And I was nervous in my seat when you said after day 5 you traded. I was like, oh Lord. I did. I sure did, girl. I was like carrying on. And that wasn't even the only one that I was buying and doing well at. And then I purchased Terry Igioma's trading class, right, where she teaches how to read the charts and whatnot. And so I was doing that, but I bought the first part of the program. I didn't buy the second part that teaches you how to do options. So I can't wait for you to do a demonstration this morning of how to trade options. Let me see. Marilyn says, Big Up YuSelf, celebrating the original you. Join us. Check out replays, community tab, and free resources. Yes, Marilyn is on it. Go ahead,
Marilyn. I'm gonna have to borrow
If you don't have a sister like Marilyn, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Marilyn is a gem.
Can I
I'm
borrow
telling you.
from Marilyn? Can I just borrow
Only
from
because
Marilyn?
it's all love, all love.
Marilyn
Yeah.
in my life.
Yeah. We met through Exodus. But I say that about Exodus women. Exodus women are a totally different breed. They will love on you, support you. You could be selling Girl Scout cookies. It's an Exodus sister somewhere who's going to be cheering you like, girl, you the best Girl Scout cookie salesman. And I love that about us. That's what I was looking for. And to have that in this online community, priceless, priceless, priceless. It's the payoff. I'm telling y'all, trust the process. You might catch it coming through, but I swear to you, just keep the faith. Keep improving, keep taking care of you, keep choosing you every day. It gets greater later.
Yvette Boone says, I'm an Exodus sister. Absolutely,
yes,
girl. Absolutely. Absolutely. So now you're going to get on Thinkorswim and you're going to show us around Thinkorswim, and then you're going to do an options trade for us to show
I'll go through a paper trade with you guys just to kind of show you. So what I really am going to do is kind of walk you through the process of what I do before I place a trade, because it's not just go in, place the trade. There's a lot that goes into before I get to that point.
Okay. Should we tell the people about your class, your community and stuff before we even get started?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if you're a new investor, if you are an experienced investor, what we do at From Lack to Legacy is we have a learning community. So we offer and lead people to all kinds of free resources, not just about options trading, not just about stocks, but about financial literacy, period. So we have a Google Drive that is chock full of resources. Our community tab is bountiful with all things financial literacy. And twice a month, every other Wednesday, we have a free Zoom study session. And the topic could be related to technical analysis, fundamental analysis, or it might be about a broad topic, but it's always about money. It's always Black women talking money and how can we make more money and make our money work for us. We're not trading our time for dollars anymore. We've got some t-shirts and merch that says stocks, not clocks. I'm serious.
Ooh,
I'm telling you, stocks, not clocks. There's a way for us. We all know this now. Nobody's going to work their way to wealth. It's not enough hours in the day. The way to build wealth has to be with investing. It has to be a part. I don't see any other way, whether it's real estate investment, tangible real estate, or REITs, whether it is investing in ETFs or index funds. Investing is the way for us to build wealth. And now that we can trade fractional shares and you can trade 24 hours a day, now's our time. It's our time to shine. And so come see us, because everything I offer is free. The resources are free. The Zoom class is free. All the community tab resources are free. The only thing that I charge for is if you're ready to get started and you need to have your Thinkorswim set up. That's a little technical. I do a one-on-one. It takes about an hour, sometimes a couple hours. And then we can get you set up, make sure that you're ready and able to paper trade, and then join the class with us. We paper trade together sometimes too. So yeah, all things finances, all things trading.
Wow, that's amazing, Sandra. Okay, so I've got to get hooked up with you, because I also want to know not only day trading, but also long-term trading.
Yes, long-term investing.
I want to know, like right now, you don't have to tell me this right now, but if I have some money, what is the best way for me to invest that money right now? Yeah.
Well, let me start here. I am not a financial advisor. I am not. But I would say, I think conventional wisdom and over time has proven that ETFs and index funds are an easy set it and forget it. And if you don't know what an ETF is or an index fund is, think old school mutual funds, where instead of investing in one stock like Apple or Tesla, and you buy those shares and that's all you have, an ETF is like a basket, and you can have 75 different stocks in there. You might have 500 in there. And
Right.
generally, that ETF or index fund is going to mirror another index like the S&P 500. So they will purchase an ETF may have, you could have an ETF that is heavy in tech stock. It could be healthcare, any number of
Right.
configurations. But the beauty of those ETFs is that they mitigate your risk, because
Mhm.
instead of investing in only one stock,
One.
now you've got 500. So you can spread that
Yes.
risk out. So if
Mhm.
tech is having a crappy day or week, your stocks in consumer discretionary may be up. And so you don't ever, it's just an easier way.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
would suggest that for all new investors. And that's about as much as I feel comfortable saying,
Got it.
because I'm
Got
new.
it. Got it. Got it.
But
Got it.
get yourself a good ETF, get yourself a good index fund, set it and forget
Got
it.
it.
Dollar cost average in, continue, same amount, same time a month. If it's going to be weekly, make it the same amount, do it every week. If you're going to contribute monthly, do the same amount monthly. And it doesn't matter what the market does, you will be okay. You will be a whole lot better off than if you did nothing and we just were sitting around talking about it. So yes, ETFs, index funds, dollar cost average in.
Yay. Okay. That was some good information. Yvette Boone says, Marilyn B., I'm great. Been trading, actually trading now. She's trading
I
now.
love this.
The market
Yes.
is open. Let's get to
Yes.
trading
Yes.
then. Let's get to trading, girl. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. Read.
So you have to, I think, put me in the
Oh,
feed, and then
the
yes.
feed. There is your think or swim. Woo, wins. Go.
Yeah. Yep. And so I need to just check this because I heard some things going on. Okay, so you can see we're making a little money here. I'd already purchased Nvidia this morning.
You
So I
did?
came in. And it looks like we made $405, 382. I'm gonna
What?
sell this. I'm gonna sell this really quickly because let me see. I'm gonna create a closing order. I want to get that money out of there. It's up to 412. So let me close these out. Create a closing order. And then I'll place another trade and I'll show you kind of what goes into it. Or I could just let that roll. Let me take you to the charts.
Girl, you sure you want it? Well, I'm not questioning you because
Oh, no,
you.
it's paper money. I think we'll be
Oh, it's
okay.
paper. Okay.
We're talking about paper money. Yeah.
Okay.
So let me go ahead and get rid of that. Okay. So let me just kind of walk you through what you're looking at. I generally trade QQQ. My advice to any new trader is to start out with
Right.
one.
QQQ. That's right. I
Yes.
heard. What's his name? Oh, what's his name? Oh, I
Who?
don't remember his name right now. And he says that's the one that he tells people to do the QQQ.
Yes, the Qs. Lots of good volume, good movement. Pretty it's stable. You kind of know what you're getting. It's been around forever. You can study that chart, and lots
Yeah.
of people trade it. So lots
Alex
of
Hormozy.
who is
Alex
it?
Hormozy. Alex
Oh,
Hormozy.
you gotta get. I gotta get his name. I'm not familiar with him, but I'm all
Okay.
about
Okay. Learning.
sharing knowledge.
Yeah.
So generally, what I would do is before I place a trade, and I think the reason I want to take the time to do this one is that it is heady when you see the money running up. But
Yes.
it'll get you. It'll get you. It'll
Yeah.
get you. I
Yeah.
don't want to put that out there. I want people to understand that this is your money. It's your hard-earned money. And so you want to give yourself the best chance to be successful. And the way you do that is to prep. And so what I would do, even with the Qs, and I'm going to do this right now, I would plot my support and resistance. And I need to know that. I need to know where this stock has been, what prices have, where it's stopped, what's giving it trouble, has it, I'll show you. So I will go to my hourly chart. And what you're looking at is this is what the price of QQQ has done every hour over the last 20 days. And so this is 20 days of trading. And you can kind of see, look at that straight line. That's easy to
Yeah.
see. You can
Yeah.
see there was a little deviation here. And
Yeah.
so I'm going to go ahead and plot this. And by plot it, I'm just going to note. It's like a note to myself that, hey, this was the high, this was the low. I want to
Right.
know, yep, that's all the information that she's done in the last 20 days. I need to know that. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to grab my little drawing tool and I'm going to plot this high here. And then I'm going to come and do the same and plot the low, because those are all important.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to come in here and I'm looking for clusters. Like, it's just, you're looking for any anomaly. Like, to see all of these clustered here, something's going on. This stock stayed in this little price range for days. It didn't go up much. It didn't go down much. I want to know that, because then I want to look over here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to plot one. I see another place, like right here, many touches. Those candlesticks touch this many times. So basically and you can see it, it's almost like a pattern. So right here at 333, 345, 358, 369, it's almost like every $10. QQQ kind of has a reaction, and that's true. If anybody has traded it, really around the dollar mark, QQQ is always going to either do a little stutter step, and you know this because you've studied this. This is what I trade. And so my advice to new traders: always trade, get one ticker, learn that ticker, and you'll be able to see these patterns. So if you were trading and you didn't have this up, I would say red flags, red flags, red flags, flag on the play. Because how do you know how high that stock's going to go, or how do you know how low it could possibly go if you don't plot the history of it? And so it's never just I turn on my computer and let's go make money. No, before any of that happens, I will have done this. And so I'll look at this stock at the hour. I'll even look at it weekly. So I'm really studying it. And so you can look. I'm telling you, and it doesn't hurt that I feel passionate about this. I could do this all day. But you can see over the history of time, QQQ has never been more than, let me make sure that's weekly. I'm going to go year. Let me just make sure. I'll go by quarter. I just want to look back 20 years to make sure. Yeah, that's the high. So it's never been higher than $408. So think about it. How likely is it to shoot up from 364 to 408? Not very likely. So that's why we look back at the history of the stock, that or whatever the equity is, whether it's an ETF or whatever, because you need that information. You can't even begin to enter a trade or exit a trade if you don't know where that stock price has been. And so that studying that part, studying it, plotting it. I'm going to go back here to the weekly, and then I'm going to make note of that high, just because I need to know for myself. That's the highest. And so you begin to just collect all this data about how this stock moves. And then, and only then, once I've studied everything, plotted everything, then I would go in, and now I'm looking for a setup. And by setup, I'm looking for the perfect entry. So let me go back to something that you guys can see. Let me go back to the 3-minute. And what you just saw me do was change the time frame. So these candlesticks that you're looking at, they can either represent 3 minutes of trading time, 5 minutes, you determine that. And so this is a 3-minute chart. So now I'm looking for, is there a play? And when I'm looking at for a play, I'm looking at all of these indicators. I'm looking to see where my MACD is. I'm looking to see where my RSI is. I'm looking to see where my TTM is. And just off the bat, I mean, it's really kind of easy to see that blue. When you see these light blue, price is going up. When you see these red and these yellow, you can see price is starting to trend down.
Which indicator is this one? Which indicator is this?
Let me switch back so I can
The,
see
the,
you. Which
the
one?
blue, the blue lines, the red lines, the yellow lines. Which one is that?
That's your TTM squeeze.
I've never
And
had that on my chart, so I don't
oh,
know what that one is.
I
And
like
that's
the
like
TTM
an
squeeze,
easy one to read.
color coded.
Yeah.
Honestly, Winsome, all of them are easy to read. Your
Uh-huh.
MACD, it's easy to read.
Uh-huh.
Red simply means that the price is going down.
Down.
When you see these bright red ones and the bigger
Mhm,
they are, they're
mhm,
building, the price is going down with even more momentum. When you see
mhm,
this dark red come in, you can see right here, price isn't going down anymore. Price
mhm,
did a little flip. Well, look at this
mhm,
candle here. It's no longer that bright red. It is now this dark red.
mhm,
Well, price decides to come down again. And look, these bright reds pop in again. As price starts to trend up again, you can see these bars are no longer that bright red. They're this dark red and they're diminishing in size. So if you spend enough time watching it, I promise you, a third grader could do this. A third grader could draw
third
these things.
graders are doing it.
I'm
Question. Question.
yes.
What is happening when a price is going down? What is happening in the market that drives prices down?
Any number of things can cause a price to drop. It could be news. Maybe something happened with a lawsuit with the company, and once the news hits, investors can get spooked and start to dump their shares or sell shares. You can have a bad earnings report. Let's say Tesla isn't selling cars the way they ought to, and they didn't make profit targets for this quarter. People hear that and they're not pleased, they may want to sell some of their stock. So news, earnings reports, any of those things. And sometimes just the natural cycle of the trading day. Because if I'm a scalper, I want to get in, I want to get out. I don't even want to be in the market at noon. I want to get in, make that money, get out of there. And so you'll see that at a certain point in the day too, where those early scalpers get in, they make their money, and then you'll see the sell off. That's them exiting the market. So price can drop for any number of reasons, but mostly what you'll see in the market is either there's some news, there's something with either the earnings, something that has spooked. You got inflation, you got all kinds of stuff. And please don't let Powell get on and have one of those FOMC meetings, because
Yeah.
he affects the market. I
It
know I
does.
never trade. Yeah, that he could say a couple of things, the inflection in his voice can change and the market can react or
Wow.
respond.
Marilyn
So
B. Marilyn B says, just FYI, union representing 150,000 workers, big three U.S. automakers, General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis, voted to authorize a strike if no deal is reached, ongoing contract negotiations.
listen,
Okay.
this is the kind of stuff that we do in our study groups. Marilyn, I'm telling you, we are talking money. We're talking about finance. We're talking about what's happening in the world internationally, what is impact, the war in the Ukraine. All of those things impact the stock market. So, how anybody Winsome, I chuckle the thought of you turning that computer on in day 5 and trading. You can make money, but I promise you that is not the way. You will lose money if you do that long term.
I
This
sure
is
did. I was so excited.
no. It's just I liken it to, if this was your physician, your attorney, if this was somebody that you were paying professionally, when you take your own money into your hands, you should be just that serious. I don't want my doctor half stepping when I come in there for surgery. I don't want my attorney distracted when I'm paying you to professionally represent me. And I feel that way about money. When I'm trading with my money, oh Lord, everything stops. Everything
Yeah.
stops. I light a candle. I gotta set the mood. It has to be, that's what I'm doing. I'm focused. I'm prepped. I'm prepared. I learned the hard way. I did the same thing you did too, Winsome. Those first trades, oh my goodness, that money was so good. I was like, this cannot be.
So good.
This cannot be true.
I
But
know.
you can make some money. You can definitely make money. But what I say is, no, I don't want quick money. What I really want is stable,
Informed
steady.
money.
Yes. And the better prepared and the more educated we are, the better chance we give ourselves. So let me look at this. So here, I'm going to just kind of scan through my watch list to see if there's anything, because right now, I don't know, the cues are just doing this up and down thing. So this is not something, this is what we call consolidation, when they're all caught up in these lines are called simple moving averages, and they just track the price of the stock over 9 days, 13 days. This one's 50 days, and this is 200 days. It keeps track of the price. And so when it's all caught up in there, that's not what you want. Let me see if I can find something. I'll show you what we would like to have seen.
Okay.
And yeah, even Tesla, I think NVIDIA had a great play this morning.
Yeah, NVIDIA. Are you able to see the comments on the screen?
I can.
Oh, okay. Because
Yvette
is saying look for a put on Ford. Do you know what that means?
Who said that?
Yvette.
Oh yes, say less. She knows I love Ford. And for new traders, Ford is an easy stock to trade. Now, see, I will look at this. This would have been a great, kind in here, but I don't know. I probably wouldn't jump here right now. I see that my RSI is going down. I like this. I'm not so crazy about this. And this is our 200-day moving average. That is usually a strong kind of support. You see how that candle is bumping against it and it won't go further down? That's usually a pretty strong support. So if I was going to do anything, in terms of a put, it would have to come through there. It would have to come down and close underneath this 200-day moving average for me to enter into to buy a put. And a put is what we purchase if we think the price is going to go down. And right now, it's sitting right there. Did you see that? Here's 1, 2, 3, 4 candles sitting right here on this 200-day moving average. No, it tapped it right here and it couldn't penetrate it. It tapped it here. It couldn't penetrate. I don't know. But one thing about it, if it continues to hit that 200-day moving average, if it keeps testing it, it will eventually break it. So I would wait. I would wait to see. I would have to have what we call a confirmation candle. It would have to close underneath that 200-day moving average for me to feel comfortable entering. And then we could just watch and see if in fact it does. And so I could set an alert and say, well, let me know if Ford dips below $11.90 if it closes underneath. But right now, I wouldn't go in there. Let me see.
Okay.
No, when they sit like that side by side, it's called consolidation. So let me see, IWM.
Marilyn says, Sandra has taught me so much, and I'm still learning, studying, reading. I have to know and understand it all. I'm a curious soul.
And those are the people I think I prefer to work with. If somebody comes to me and they say, well, look, I got $5,000 and I'm trying to save the family farm. I need to make 50,000. I don't do that. I don't do that. That's when you get into trouble, because now you're operating out of something else. Yeah, but if you are interested in learning, I'm your girl.
Yeah, you're a teacher.
But Winsome, do you see this? Look at this. Here again, this is our 200-day moving average. And look how it just won't go.
Right.
It respects this 200-day because this means something. Over the course of the last 200 days, this is what the price has been. So if it's been that for 200 days, it's going to take some to dip below that. That's really a downtrend. So I would have to see, although this looks better than the other one. So let me look and see. The only thing I don't like about PayPal is PayPal trades so slow.
Yeah.
You see, tick so slow. So I like the ones with volume. Tesla moves, Nvidia moves, QQQ, Spy. Who else?
Go see
Oddly
what my
enough,
what my what I used to trade. I stopped trading everything and would just trade just Upstart, but I haven't looked at it in over a year. So what's it? Upstart, UPST.
okay, hold on one second, because listen,
Okay.
did you see that candle come below that moving average? I want
Yeah,
to see if
yeah,
that
yeah.
candle turns. I want to see if it turns red. And I just want to look back over this, and then we can go look and see. So I want to
Okay,
look
take your
back.
time. Take your time.
Yep, I want to look back and see. Okay, so yeah, I might do this one. Let's go ahead. This is PayPal, real quick.
You're gonna buy some PayPal right now?
We're gonna buy custom. We're gonna buy with an OCO bracket, which is, it has your built-in
Yes. Stop
that's not
loss.
what I'm, yep. So let's get in here.
And
Buy.
is it? Are you doing an options or no?
I'm doing an options trade. I want to buy custom. Buy custom. Let's use this one. Okay, that's cool. I'm just going to change this to 10%. I'm saying I'm willing to lose 10%, but I'm not really.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to get in there and see if we can get something going. So we just purchased 3 PayPal contracts. And we purchased puts because we think the price is going to go down. So I'm just going to go back over to my chart real quick and see. Yeah, that's on the 15-minute. I'm okay with that. Let me go back down to the 2-minute. I just want to see. So yeah, I think we can make a few dollars on PayPal, because this is pretty much, you can see that little hop, hop, hop. She's on her way down.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go in here and see what PayPal did. Okay, so, okay, Nvidia is still making money, but Tesla is not. I need to sell that. I'm going to get it out of there because I don't want it in the way.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can check up on, okay. And so here's PayPal. We purchased 3 contracts with 11 days left on those contracts. So we can hold them for 11 days, and it made $6. And so as long as the price goes down, we will see a profit. And that's the only thing that I have open. So what I purchased today was this Nvidia. The Nvidia did this, whatever these are, these totals. Nvidia total for 405. This Tesla, I should have sold. I turned my head. This was down 375. I don't even know when I purchased that, though, to be honest. And so, yeah, that's it. That's it. That's all. We'll go back to the chart.
Hey, let me ask you this though. It's hard for my mind to comprehend how you could actually make money as a stock is price is going down. Is there a way for you to simplify that for me?
Yes. If you're buying stocks, if you're buying shares, this doesn't apply. If you are buying, say, Coca-Cola, and you want to purchase shares, you want to own a portion of the company. If you buy 10 shares of Coca-Cola and the price goes up, you're happy, you're a winner. If you purchase shares of Coca-Cola and the price goes down, you're a loser. You lose that, or you see a deficit. You don't actually realize that loss until you sell the stock. But yes, technically, if it goes down in price, you lose. And that's how shares work. If the price goes down, you're out of that money. That's where options come into play. Options, though, that's the vehicle, that's the product that you can purchase or that you can invest in, and you can make money if the price goes up. You buy a call or some form of that. You can make money if the price of the stock goes down by purchasing a put or any variation of a put. So, because options don't function like shares. It's a totally different, just throw shares, everything you know about purchasing shares, throw that out. It has nothing to do with options. Options are actually where you are saying more or less, this is my thesis. I think the price is going to go up, or I think the price is going to go down. And based on that thesis, you purchase either a call or a put. Well, hopefully you've done a lot of research so that you can be reasonably sure about that and get in there. Hopefully that move happens and you get out. How the sausage is made, I don't know who came up with this product, to be perfectly honest with you. And I don't know how the sausage is made in the back. So that might be a great topic for us. Why do options work the way they work? But that's the product that you can use if you see, the market is going down. You can certainly purchase a put or some form of a put in order to make money, but you can't do that with shares.
Okay. Okay. And Marilyn B says, and share with your family. They will grow and learn, especially or young ones. Also, your friends who are willing to change their mindset. Yep.
Yes. But you know what? I'm telling you, it's these conversations when we can talk to each other openly about money. And I didn't do it all right. And I was still able to cobble together with the few financial skills I had, and able to live a life that I love. This is the life that I designed for me. I'm doing what Sandra wants to do every day of the week. I don't even go on YouTube if I don't feel like it. I mean, I don't
Right?
do anything at this stage of the game that I do not want to do. I have earned that. I've sacrificed for it. I've paid in more ways, and most Black women have. Carve out that space for you. Your dream life might not be hopping around the world with 100 pounds in your suitcase. That might not be your dream, but whatever your dream is, dream it. Write it down. I promise you, and get with like-minded people who are going to blow under your wings, like Winsome.
Yeah,
put this.
absolutely. All
You
day
need
long.
that.
That's my superpower.
Yeah. I'm going to just peek over here and see what PayPal is doing.
Right.
So, okay, looks like we're up $6 on PayPal.
What?
So okay, so now you're up $7.50 on PayPal. So if it drops rapidly, you'll see movers that make you real money are probably going to be a little more pricey. This stock trades at $61. If you trade Nvidia and you get it right, I'm telling you, Nvidia pays so well. This right here, this was the move this morning right here. This is what I'm looking for. If I don't see this, I'm not going in.
Wow.
This is what you're looking for. This was 2,
Wow.
4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 minutes of price dropping. You get in, you get out. Winsome, I did get in on this. That's how we made that money in Nvidia this morning, because I jumped in before we got on. But look at this. You see how these are clustered here together? As soon as it broke through and this one closed red, we're off to the races. We are off to the races. They're trading the prices below the lowest price 200 days ago. So yeah, everything here was textbook. I wish we could have gotten this. Everything was textbook. You can see here with your TTM squeeze, the red, and you can see the momentum building. You can see here with your RSI, how we were at the 70 value. We went all the way down from overbought to oversold. You can see it here. It just makes sense when you look at it. Look at the red color. And we knew this was a downward trend, and we could see exactly when that trend started to change with this color change here, with this color change right here. You could see, I'm telling you, I feel like it was a secret that mainstream America kept away from us. They taught their children this. They talked about this. We didn't get it. And so I'm trying to tell anybody who'll stand still long enough to listen. Yes, you absolutely. If you put in the time, you can do this with some degree of certainty and be profitable. But don't
love it. Tell us again where to find you and your classes. Tell us again.
Yes, from lack to legacy every other Wednesday. Our next session is coming up this Wednesday, and it's at 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're Central Standard, it's 7 o'clock for you. All you need to do is email me at fromlacktolegacy@gmail.com, and I will send you the link to the Zoom study session. And once you subscribe, then you get everything. You get the Zoom study sessions, you get access to our Google Drive where we put all the recordings. So even if you just joined us, you can go back and watch all of the Zoom study sessions. You've got access to our previous live trades, all of it. So we want Black women talking about money. Come talk about it with us.
I guess I need to turn on notifications for your channel because for some reason I don't get those notifications. Okay. Well, Sandra, oh my gosh, it was so wonderful. How long have we been here? An hour and a half. We covered so much in such a short time. Oh my goodness. I cannot thank you enough for making yourself available to us this morning.
Thank you for having
me. Night where you are. It's 10:16 where you are. And
yes.
10:16 p.m.
It's 10:16 p.m.
Mm-hmm. And but thank you so much for your time with us this morning, and please come again. And I want to thank everyone in the chat that participated. You guys made it so exciting today. What she said, somebody said good night and good morning, ladies. Marilyn. I said I just subbed. Thank you, I
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for subbing. Listen, I want to get to 500 subs. It sounds so little, right? 500 subs by the end of the month. Do you think I can do it? Help me do it.
I think you got it. I think you got it in the bag.
Share, people. Share. Invite someone to subscribe. Help me get to that $500 subs mark. And thank you all again. And don't forget to big up yourself every chance you get. Big up. By the way, guys, I have a Facebook group. It's in the description box. The Facebook group is your brag book. Go in there and brag about your stuff every day. Post something. Celebrate yourself for something every day in that brag book. It's the Big Up YuSelf, Celebrating Your Original Self brag book. All right. See y'all next episode. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Wild Love Thing said, thank you all. Feeling more empowered. Yes, that's what we do. Yay. That's what we do. Yvette Boone said, if I could sub again, I would. Oh, love that. Love that. Love that.
Marilyn. Love the sisterhood.
Thank you. See you later, Sandra.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.